The Viking Age spanned from approximately 793 to 1066 AD, covering the era of extensive exploration, raids, and trade by Norse seafarers. The Viking Age, marked by the iconic longship, witnessed Norse seafarers expanding their reach to as far as the Mediterranean and the Caspian Sea, leaving a lasting impact on global trade and exploration. The term Viking was used to describe a group of seafaring Scandinavian people who conducted raids on European settlements. The term Viking originates from the Old Norse word vikingur, reflecting the maritime activities of these people, who were not only raiders but also traders and settlers, shaping the history of the regions they encountered. Viking ships were lightweight, fast, and easily maneuverable, allowing them to reach distant shores quickly. The famous longship was a significant technological advancement for the time. Viking ships like the longship showcased remarkable craftsmanship with their clinker-built design, facilitating both river navigation and open sea travel, making them versatile for various expeditions. Vikings were not only raiders, but also explorers and settlers, establishing colonies in what is now England, Danelaw, Ireland, Dublin, Iceland, Greenland, and even North America, Finland. Viking exploration led to the establishment of the Danelaw in England, the city of Dublin in Ireland, and the Norse settlements in Iceland, Greenland, and Finland, North America, showcasing their adaptability to diverse environments. The Viking raids were not always destructive. They also engaged in trade and established alliances with some of the places they invaded. Viking trade networks extended from the Byzantine Empire to the Islamic Caliphate, emphasizing the Vikings' role as cultural intermediaries and demonstrating their ability to forge diplomatic and economic ties. Vikings were skilled craftsmen who created beautiful artworks, jewelry, and ornate metal items. Viking craftsmanship is evident in artifacts like the Lewis chessmen and the intricate boar-style metalwork, showcasing their artistic skills and their influence on European art. The Viking art style was characterized by its animal-inspired motifs and intricate patterns known as Viking knots. Viking art, characterized by animal motifs and knotwork, not only adorned everyday items, but also served as a means of expressing their mythology and beliefs, creating a unique cultural identity. Viking society was highly masculine, with a strong emphasis on warfare, adventure, and personal honor. Women, though second-class citizens, had more rights than their contemporaries in other European societies. While Viking society had a martial focus, women held significant roles as landowners and managers of households, contributing to the economic and social fabric of their communities. The conversion to Christianity began during the Viking Age, with Olaf Tryggvason and Olaf Haraldsson, later Saint Olaf, as prominent converters. The conversion to Christianity marked a cultural shift, impacting the Vikings' worldview and leaving a lasting legacy on the religious landscape of Scandinavia. The Vikings had complex social structures, with kings ruling over various kingdoms and subordinate rulers known as earls governing regions within these kingdoms. Viking social structures, including the roles of kings and earls, provided a framework for governance and administration, fostering stability and order within their territories. The Viking Age was also an era of significant literary output, including sagas and poems that provided valuable insights into their lives and customs. The sagas and poems from the Viking Age, such as the Poetic Edda and the sagas of Icelanders, provide invaluable insights into their history, customs, and beliefs, enriching our understanding of this fascinating era. The term Vikings is derived from the Old Norse word for inlet or bay vik. They were initially called vikingur, which meant pirates or sea robbers. The term Vikings reflects their seafaring origins, but over time it evolved to encompass a broader cultural identity, encapsulating the rich history and achievements of the Norse people. The Viking culture was characterized by their love for mead, a fermented beverage made from honey, water, and sometimes herbs. Mead, a staple in Viking feasts, not only served as a social lubricant, but also held cultural significance, playing a role in religious ceremonies and social gatherings. The Vikings were skilled farmers who grew barley, rye, oats, and wheat. They also kept livestock such as cows, pigs, sheep, and goats. Viking agricultural practices were essential for sustaining their communities, emphasizing their self-sufficiency and ability to adapt to diverse climates. The Viking Age saw the development of the runic alphabet, which was used to write Old Norse. Runestones are still found throughout Scandinavia today. The runic alphabet, with its distinctive angular characters, became a key element of Norse identity, visible in inscriptions on runestones that still dot the Scandinavian landscape. The Viking Age also witnessed the first recorded use of the calendar we know today as the Gregorian calendar. The adoption of the Gregorian calendar highlighted the Vikings' engagement with the broader European cultural milieu, showcasing their ability to assimilate and adapt. Vikings were skilled navigators who used the sun, stars, and winds to determine their position at sea. Viking navigational prowess using natural elements for orientation reflects their expertise in maritime exploration and trade. The famous Viking sword, known as a sea axe, was primarily used for slashing rather than thrusting. The Viking sea axe, a versatile weapon, served multiple purposes, emphasizing the pragmatic approach of these warriors in various combat situations. Shields were an integral part of Viking combat, with the most common type being round and made of wood. They also used smaller rectangular shields for specific purposes. Shields, a symbol of Viking martial prowess, were not only defensive tools, but also displayed intricate designs, showcasing craftsmanship and individuality. The Viking Age saw the development of the Herd, a group of elite warriors who served as both bodyguards and military commanders for kings and earls. The Herd's dual role as elite warriors and trusted aides underscored the Vikings' commitment to both martial prowess and loyalty within their social structure. The Vikings had a sophisticated legal system which included rules of evidence, witness testimony, and procedures for resolving disputes. The sophisticated legal system reflects the Vikings' commitment to justice, ensuring a degree of order in their communities. Viking raids were often carried out by small groups called haftsmen, which translates to seamasters or ship owners. The haftsmen, often overlooked in historical narratives, played a crucial role in Viking raids, showcasing the decentralized nature of their military activities. Vikings were skilled in using both two-handed axes and single-handed battle axes during combat. The use of both two-handed and single-handed battle axes demonstrated the Vikings' versatility and adaptability in combat. The Viking Age saw the development of the first known shipbuilding manual, the Ynglinga Saga. The Ynglinga Saga provided guidance on shipbuilding techniques, underlining the importance of maritime technology in Viking society. The Vikings used horses for transportation and in battle as well, though primarily in Scandinavia rather than during their raids. The use of horses, particularly in Scandinavia, showcased the Vikings' practical approach to transportation and battle strategies. Viking women were responsible for spinning wool and flax into thread, weaving cloth, and creating garments for the family. Women's domestic responsibilities in Viking society highlighted the practical roles they played in supporting their families and communities. The Vikings had their own mythology, which included gods such as Odin, Thor, and Loki, known collectively as the Aesir. Norse mythology, with its pantheon of gods, reflected the Vikings' spiritual worldview and cultural identity. The Vikings had a complex belief system that incorporated both Christianity and their native pagan beliefs. This syncretism was known as Viking heathendom. The syncretism of Viking heathendom showcased the dynamic interplay between native beliefs and external influences, reflecting the adaptability of their religious practices. The Viking Age saw the development of a merchant class who engaged in trade across Europe and the Middle East. The rise of a merchant class demonstrated the Vikings' economic acumen, contributing to the prosperity and expansion of their society. The Vikings used coins made from silver, copper alloys, and gold as a form of currency. The use of coins highlighted the Vikings' integration into wider trade networks and their ability to navigate diverse economic systems. Viking warriors wore chainmail armor for protection during battle. Chainmail armor, a technological advancement, showcased the Vikings' commitment to innovation in warfare. The Vikings were skilled in the art of falconry and used birds of prey for hunting and warfare. The Vikings' expertise in falconry demonstrated their resourcefulness, utilizing birds of prey for both practical and symbolic purposes. The Viking Age was a time of great innovation, with advancements in shipbuilding, metallurgy, agriculture, and trade. The Vikings' contributions to various fields underscored their role as innovators, leaving a lasting impact on medieval Europe. The last major Viking raid occurred in 1066 AD when Harald Hardrada invaded England. Harald Hardrada's invasion marked the end of major Viking raids, reflecting the changing political and military dynamics of the time. The legacy of the Vikings lives on through their cultural, linguistic, and genetic influence in modern-day Scandinavia and beyond, showcasing their lasting impact on world history.